you an insurance agent that's just plumb confused? You're kind of wondering what's the big difference between being a captive agent versus being an independent insurance agent? Well, I'm going to help you translate through the noise so that you can know the differences, pros and cons of both. And yes, I said both. This is not about bashing on captive agents or bashing on independent agents. This is a video that will bring you hopefully value and help you listen through the noise, okay, to understand where you need to move. So tip number one that I'm going to share with you is that being a captive insurance agent is just where you work for one company, one option, okay? So you get one carrier, or in some instances, even small agencies can be kind of a captive model too, where you're only allowed to sell maybe one or two or three companies. That's it. You're not allowed. You are captive, okay? You are theirs, if that makes sense. You are being dictated to, and you're being told what to do, who you can sell, who you can't sell for, okay? That's a captive insurance agency's arrangement. So just understand it. Captive agents just means you've got limited access, or they call them career agents, okay? It just means you can only sell one company. That's it. Or only a couple companies that they allow you to sell. This happens a lot with captive insurance agencies. They sell one company and then they'll maybe grab a couple MAPDs. They'll grab a couple companies on the side that they'll allow you to sell once you ask permission. Okay, it's crazy. You got to ask permission in a captive agency or you can lose your contract. It's that way. Okay, so understand being a captive insurance agent means you are going to be told, okay, who you can sell for, and more importantly, that you can't go do what you want to do. So you lose your independence when you're a captive insurance agent, okay? And we're going to go over some pros of this as well, but I want you to understand the big difference between being a captive insurance agent, where you can sell either one company or a couple that they dictate to you, versus being a independent insurance agent where you're free to sell any carrier that you feel like. So being an independent agent means you're really independent. Do it your way. Take care of the clients with the best handshake in the industry if you maybe want to sell a company or two or 10 or 20. It won't matter. So when you're an independent insurance agent, it allows you to have freedom and lots of choices for your clients versus a captive insurance agent where they're only allowed to sell one company or maybe a couple of them that their company dictates to them. So as long as you understand this difference, captive means one or maybe a couple, but you are not legally allowed to sell companies outside of who you're being dictated to and told that you can or cannot. Okay, so it's very much like that W-2 where your employer tells you what to do. That's how captive agencies kind of work. You can only sell their carrier. You can't just go do any carrier that may be a good fit, maybe not, who knows, okay? So we'll dive into that as well. But a captive agency is much more restrictive to the agent force, where an independent insurance agent really means you're independent. You can do whatever you kind of feel like to take care of that client. So when you first start off, an insurance agent, in my opinion, is all about advocacy, okay? And I used to be a captive insurance agent back in the day, so it's nothing against you great agents that have chosen the captive route. Got the utmost of respect for you, okay? But you're going to find that one of the pros of becoming a captive insurance agent when you first start out is your low startup cost, okay? Being a captive insurance agent or maybe a career agent, it's definitely a low startup cost because you're also given a lot lower compensation. A lot of, some good that can happen here as a new agent. They've got lots of good training programs, and a lot of insurance agencies out here in the free market, some of their training is not great, okay? It's like, here's a contract, hope you make it, bud. It's not good, okay? I run a national insurance agency, jasonfinalexpense.com, and my goodness, we do insane levels of training, but a lot of independent insurance agencies are not wound the way that we are, with high levels of training, mentoring, and skill set. Most times when you're independent, some cons of being an independent agent is, yeah, you're independent, go work on that, bud. Where when you're a captive insurance agent, yes, you're captive, you're kind of like a leashed, okay, person. You're definitely leashed down. You're tied down. You're told who to sell for, who you can and cannot sell for when you're captive. So understand there's a difference. You lose your independence when you go captive. They do tell you what to do, but they do sell a product that the independent agents are not legally able, in most cases, to sell. So it's kind of good to know. You got a one-trick pony and nobody else can ride your pony. right? Where an independent agent, hey, come on, hop on, we'll give you the pony. It's all good. We got lots of options for our clients. But when you first start out becoming an independent insurance agent, let me tell you, your startup costs are much higher than becoming a captive insurance agent. So there's some negative here in becoming an independent insurance agent too. And if you're an independent insurance agent without a good agency, okay, you haven't partnered to sell life, annuities, okay, and Medicare, like in my national insurance agency, let me share with you, it's confusing if you don't have turnkey systems like what I help brand new agents with to translate the business. So a lot of insurance agents that decide to be independent, there's all these papers, they don't know the processes, every company's different, and it can be debilitating. Where the pro to being a captive insurance agent is it's just one product. It's real easy to learn that. One thing, right? So a captive insurance agent, it's easier sometimes to get started if you don't have a good agency that you partner with, like at jasonfinalexpense.com. So you could be floundering as an independent agent if you're not given turnkey systems, where a captive agent, lots more, okay, because it's only one thing. So the pro to a captive agent is you only got to have one thing to master. Let's just get real. Independent agent, lots of things going on. But as an independent insurance agent or even a captive insurance agent, you got into this industry to be an advocate for your client, right? Well, a lot of captive agencies and agents, let me tell you, if you can't shake hands and protect that family, you just get to pack your bags and head down the road. You can't take care of that client because the captive agency tells you if you don't sell our product, you can sell no product. That's how a lot of these companies work, okay? Or if they don't, they've got what they call the first right of refusal. And let me share with you, I worked for a captive agency back in the day, good people. Okay, but let me tell you, sometimes there's a situation where someone's got COPD or maybe they're on some pain meds and I can't take their business. I can't protect that family. And you know what they told me back in the day? Well, too bad. Go to another house. Leave it alone. Bye-bye. Move on. Go find a healthier person. I'm like, what? So you don't want the business, but I'm not allowed to go get a company to guard that family. That's the downside of being a captive agent. But on the front side, it's lower startup cost for you, where when you're an independent agent, little higher startup cost. So tip number 2 that I'll share with you, and I hope this video is bringing value to you and helping you navigate through the noise, okay? Because there are pros and cons of both, okay? And don't get conned into thinking that one, okay, is like maybe an easier thing. Both take hard work. It's a very simple business. Either way, whether you're captive or independent, but it's not an easy business, okay? So tip number 2, when you're a captive insurance agent, you've got very little to say about the future. Your future, you will find, as a captive insurance agent, you need to read the fine print, okay? As a captive insurance agent. Low startup cost, yes, but everything that you just chained yourself down to as a captive insurance agent, let me tell you, you're not going to have the same ownership that you would as an independent agent. So we're going to go into the pros and cons of both here because there are some valid points I want to bring to the table. Okay, so you have, as a captive agent, you've got little to no say about your future. They control your leads normally. They control your one product or 2 or 3 products that they allow you as a captive insurance agent to sell. You're not allowed to sell any other products like we learned in tip number 1. But you've got to look at things like vesting schedule, okay? Most of these captive companies, they're LOA, meaning the company gets paid and then they pay you, okay? Which means they've got all the control. You're captive, they are handling everything. So understand there's some scary things with some captive agencies where they pay you because they own the block of business, not you. And that's okay if you're a career agent and you're going to live and die and tattoo yourself with that company's name, but you've got very little to say about the future of the company, future management, future product offerings. You're very, very limited. They can reduce your commissions like that, and you can do nothing about it. You're out of control when you're a captive insurance agent because you're in captivity. You're not allowed to go anywhere without losing, yes, losing. That's why you've got to look at your vesting schedule, all that business that you worked for all these years as a captive insurance agent. Maybe contractually, they promised you so much. Okay, a lot of these companies are 5-year, 10-year, 15-year vesting schedules. Okay, I understand this firsthand, secondhand. I got lots of agents as well, but I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Okay, started off as a captive agent. Let me tell you, vesting schedule, when they're LOA'd, they have all the purse strings. It means the company gets paid and they'll pay you what they want. okay, as a captive insurance agent, you got to understand, okay, the payments are going to the company and then to your hands, okay? Where an independent insurance agent, the insurance that you write gets paid to you from the carrier, not LOA, okay, where it pays the company and the company pays you. When you're captive, the company owns the block of business, not you, the agent, and you've got to buy your time through vesting schedules normally, okay? So understand, captive insurance agencies, they do chain you down with the fine print of vesting schedules, okay? You've got to look at how their products work. There's carriers that won't even, like these captive carriers, that you're kind of a career agent, they even dictate where you can buy your business cards. I'm not kidding you, and they'll fire you for it. You buy business cards outside of their one vendor who's really expensive, they'll fire you for it. Look at the fine print. I'm telling you, some of these captive insurance agencies, not all, there's some really good ones out there, but there's some that can scare you when you read the fine print. Okay, when the company owns the business and you're captive and you don't, what happens if the company changes a product offering? They had some really great products, really good rates, and all of a sudden the company hits the eject button, and now your favorite product is gone, and now you've got to sell what they have left, which sometimes in a captive agency can sometimes be sloppy seconds compared to everyone else in the industry. And then you go, oh, now I want to go be independent. I've been captive for quite a few years. I'm going to go do that. And they go, oh, sorry, you're not vested. See ya. And they can terminate you, okay, for no fault of yours, and take your business other than what the percentage is that you're vested in, which is normally a pittance of what you've actually profitably built when you're captive. So if you are in a captive agency, that's fine, but understand what you signed so that you can be singing good music down the road if you stay there or if you ever need to move around, okay? An independent insurance agent, though, understand you're not LOA. It's not the company that gets paid and then they pay you. No, as an independent insurance agent, you can sell whoever you want, and the insurance companies are the ones that pay you for writing and helping these great prospects. So the insurance companies pay you, and you're vested day one as an insurance agent with 99% of the carrier. So your vesting is right away. So if you move to another state or you decide to write for a different carrier who maybe is a better handshake because you're an advocate for your consumer, being an independent insurance agent where you're paid direct from the carrier, if you ever hop to a different company or a different agency, all of your renewals, all of your vesting is all immediate, and it comes to you, the agent, for the life of the policy. In most cases, it'll pay you exactly as it's contractually said it would, versus being captive where you're LOA. The company kind of has the chains there, okay? They've got all, okay, the control. That's why they call it captivity. You're captive, they control whether you can, okay, do certain things or not. That's why look at your vesting schedule. Look at the leads that they maybe give you. Some companies, what they call a lead is really just like 3-year-old data, okay? And they'll tell you it's a lead, and then half the phone numbers don't work. You're like, what? Okay? So understand, being a captive insurance agent, you've got little to no say about the future, and you can find that frustrating, maybe a little deeper into your career, but there are some perks here, okay, where it's low startup cost, right? Low startup cost, and if you don't have much money in your pocket, as a brand new insurance agent, being a captive insurance agent is a great way to get trained and understand maybe how to do some things, because you know what? You're like, I don't got any money. Well, a captive insurance agent, they hire a lot of folks. And let me tell you, a lot of these places are like, if you've got a pulse, we've got a place. And I call them paper mills sometimes, because some of those captive agencies are in and out. But don't get me wrong, independent insurance agencies play by those same rules sometimes, okay? I only partner with 1 out of 30 in my national insurance agency, but there's a lot of independent insurance agencies that'll take anybody with a pulse. There's no difference here. Don't let anybody shine you on, okay? So understand, when you're captive, normally your LOA, which just means the money is paid to the company, and then the company pays you, which means the company controls your block of business. But being an independent insurance agent, all the business you write, the company pays you directly, which means you now are independently in control of your money, and you take it with you. There's no vesting schedules to really be worrying about, where the captive agencies typically have like a 5, 10, 15-year schedule. And then even if you are vested for 15 years, they're only going to pay you like on years 1 through 5 or years 1 through 10. It's like divide by 2, hop on your head, grab the abacus, and it's complicated, okay? So if you're debating whether you should work for a captive agency, please read the 20 pages of garbage, okay, that they're going to make you sign. Please read it, okay? You want to just be intentional. Okay? And I'm not saying it's not their right to do that as a captive insurance agency, but you need to know what you're endorsing. Okay? When you're an independent insurance agent, there's some negative too, okay? Because you're not going to maybe have the cheap startup cost that you would as when you're a captive agent. Okay? When you're captive, they pay you tinier commissions when you're captive compared to an independent agent where it's a lot more opportunity to grow. Okay? When you're captive, you're kind of caged down a little bit. When I was a captive insurance agent, did the good work, but definitely kind of felt like a caged dog. I wanted to run, okay, wanted to help my clients in a better way, where an independent insurance agent costs a little bit more to get started and flowing and going. It just does. You got to buy your own leads. You got to know what you're doing. It takes more time, more effort. It just does when you're independent if you don't have a good agency like mine that can help you translate all these carriers into hopefully the best position of profitability and power for you because you're better protecting your prospects. When you can give your clients many choices and they're all good, man, it makes it easier to write business compared to when you're a captive agent, you really only get like one choice or the choices they allow you to sell. Okay, so understand the difference between the captive versus the independent market. When you're independent, you've got lots of control, but let me tell you, when one carrier goes down as an independent agent, where this just happened a couple weeks ago, great carrier, okay? They no longer sell this term product that we sold a lot of. Well, that's okay. We just turn here and use that carrier right there. We're in control as an independent insurance agent, where a captive insurance agent will not have control. Your management in that company has all the control over you. For example, annuities, okay? The men and women in my agency, we sell annuities. They're phenomenal, but let me share with you, certain captive companies are not allowing their agents to sell, okay, annuities by themselves. They have to have a financial advisor that comes along. Well, why is that? Because the company dictates it, not because it's not allowed in the state. Well, the company can say whatever they want, and you are like, yes, sir, and if you don't do what they say, they'll terminate your contract. They're in control of you, but understand lower startup cost. Okay, you're definitely forfeiting ownership as a captive agent, right? You're kind of handing, okay, everything to them. They're in control, you're really not. Understand that's just kind of how it works when you're captive, but you do have the security of knowing it doesn't cost you much. You've got the security of probably a local office with a little cubicle. Okay, you got some real nice people. That can happen too in a captive agency. So there's some pros there. Where an independent agent, we're going to get into that with tip number 3. So when you're an independent insurance agent, for tip number 3, you're going to be independent. You need to be an entrepreneurial-based agent, okay? You shouldn't be an agent that has to be told what to do, okay? If you're an agent that says, I need to be told what to do, okay? I need to be micromanaged. I need some of that Kool-Aid, okay? Steroid, rah-rah, okay? A captive insurance agency gives you a lot of those things normally if you're with a good agency, okay? A captive agency is more like team-based, okay, micromanagement to a certain degree, and don't take that the wrong way, okay, but they do manage you, okay, you're going to have multi-layers of management teams, okay, and the management team's always in control of the lower agent flow. That's just kind of how those normally work. It's not normally like a partnership. It's normally like, I'm going to tell you what to do and go grab your day planner and I'm going to look at what you did. And they do manage well, okay? Captive agencies, there's a lot of them that manage this really good. So if you need to be told what to do, you need somebody to call you every day to make sure you got out of your bed and you're on your phones, and you need somebody to be like, turn in your dial sheets and how many connections did you make. If you really need somebody to micromanage you for you to make a living, let me tell you, being a captive insurance agent, it may be for you, okay? It's less comp, for sure. In most cases, it's less compensation, but if you're an agent that needs someone to kind of ride you, that may be a good choice for you. So it's not a negative here, okay? Just understand, being captive, you're limited in your offerings. Being captive, tip number 2, okay, you're probably not vested. You don't own the business right away. You just don't. The company does, which can put you into kind of a position that you may not want to be, but it's not always the worst thing on the planet. Tip number 3, though, becoming captive, you got a good, okay, source of that kind of Kool-Aid drinking, steroid pumping, management level that's going to help a lot of agents that, let's just face it, need that. There's a lot of agents that can't handle being independent. When you're independent, it's kind of like solidarity, right? You've got to be one that can, you know what, you can do more by yourself. It's amazing when you're an independent agent, but you've got to have the hustle muscle. Okay, when you're a captive agent, you're going to get kind of micromanaged. You lose your flexibility. You're like letting people know when you go on vacation. Okay, where an independent insurance agent is like, I'm independent. Okay, I want financial freedom. I want flexibility. I'm not telling anybody when I'm going on vacation. I'm just going to do it. So an independent agent needs to have an entrepreneurial spirit. You've got to have more money to start off as an independent agent because you're buying your own leads, right? You're understanding the different product offerings. You don't need someone to call you every day. Yes, you're an industry for sure, like you're in an industry for yourself. But if you work with a good agency, you can have that same, okay, camaraderie and help, but you don't get micromanaged, okay? It's not good. I hate micromanagement. But some people need it. Let's just face it. Some people thrive and they need that kind of micromanagement, and they will not survive if they don't have it. So it's not a negative to be a captive agent if that's for you, okay? But an independent agent, you need to be entrepreneurial based, okay? Those that do are those that get, and that's the same way with being a captive insurance agent. So understand some pros of being captive is you will be given some pretty good training sometimes, not always, but sometimes, and you're just learning one product, okay? And it doesn't cost you as much overhead to really get flowing and going. So understand when you are an independent agent, you may not have somebody every day calling you, waking you up. Okay, not going to do it. All right, you need to be an independent agent. Let's go. Okay, but being an independent agent in a lot of agencies, you may not get a lot of hand holding. Okay, where if you join an agency like how we roll, let me tell you, we've got powerful, okay, great people. It's fun. We have fun together. We really do. But we also have a good culture so that you're not by yourself. We've got camaraderie. It's important. So yes, you're for yourself, but you're never by yourself unless you choose to be. So when you're an independent insurance agent, you're not going to get micromanaged, okay? You won't get, okay, into an environment where you got to go ask to take a lunch break, okay? Can I go take a break, okay? Being a captive agent, you're going to have lots of meetings, okay? You're going to have lots of meetings. You're going to have some of that kind of in the industry known as Kool-Aid drinking sessions. It's okay. You know, it's going to be team whatever that company's name is, team whatever that company's name is, okay? Because that's that one company that you can sell for, and you're not given maybe some other options that may be better fits for your consumer. You're going to find yourself in a position where you can only sell one thing. So when you're captive, is it the worst thing in the world? No. Is it the best for everybody though? Absolutely not. So just understand, tip number one, captive, one company, that's it. Independent agent, lots of choices, do what you want, don't have to ask permission, okay? We have so many carriers, it's awesome. So we can take care of the great folks that need us as true advocates to help them get what they want. But tip number two, as a captive agent, you really have limited, okay, ability to, doesn't matter what you think, company's going to do what the company's going to do, right? So if the company, your one-trick pony, this great captive agency or career agency that you started, let's say they change management, a company buys them out, okay, or they quit doing what they have done so successfully, you're going to find yourself in a position where, oh crud, now I'm not even invested. Are you kidding me? I just sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears for this company for how many years? And then I go to leave to go be independent, and now I just lost everything. It's a high price to pay when you're captive, and a lot of agents don't know any better. So understand when you're captive, most companies, you've got long vesting schedules. You don't even own your hard work. Understand you got to buy their leads normally. You're not allowed to go get maybe some better lead platforms out there that may do you better, make you more efficient. But understand the products are typically one or the ones that they offer you, and it's LOA, okay? The company's paid, they've got the power and the control, and then they give you the money that they agreed to. They're good that way, okay? Captive insurance agencies are, but if you ever leave them, that's where it can get a little ugly, okay? But an independent insurance agent, understand there's some ugliness too, because you've got to deal with your own lead cost. You've got to definitely have turnkey systems in place, like how I train. You've got to understand, how does these carriers work? It's scary when you've got all these different carriers and you don't have the systems that we do. Okay, it can be overwhelming, and that can take you out of this industry as an independent insurance agent. Sure can. You've got to have enough capital to put in those leads. Where the pro to being captive, it's a very low startup cost because they give you data or give you, okay, some mitigated, okay, cost leads so that you can hopefully be in a place that's more profitable as a captive agent at first, but then you're going to find yourself walking over dollars. You really will, okay, because your commission levels may be around the 40s, where everybody else in the industry may be around the hundreds, okay, big difference, okay, or even higher if you're a top producer. So understand with annuities, they limit you. Sometimes it's half of the compensation that you would experience as an independent agent. So you give, okay, in that environment. But if you need a lot of team-based management, okay, really, you know, hey, you didn't show up to this meeting today, where you been? Okay, if you need somebody to do that to you, a captive agent is probably a great scenario for you. It's not a negative thing to understand the difference between the noises of both, okay? Being an independent agent, you've got to be entrepreneurial based, you've got to be driven, self-driven. And being a captive agent, yes, you need to be self-driven, but if you've got somebody telling you what to do all day, every day, like a lot of captive agencies are, well, you're going to probably giddy up a little harder if you maybe lack some things. So there's nothing wrong with being a captive agent or being an independent insurance agent. Both have their pros, both have their cons. So I hope this helps you today. If I can do anything at all to serve you, please reach out, jasonfinalexpense.com. Appreciate you watching. Have a great day. We'll see you soon, and let me know how I can help you. And if you've got anything else you'd like me to dive into, by all means, put it in the comments here, and I'd love to drop some content that would bring you even more value on that. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I hope tomorrow is amazing for you.